And it's really the time now to understand the times that we live and how to get through them. We have to learn how to sail through these times, not get caught, not get swamped by everything that's going on, not feel an overburdens of pressures, but how to see clear through the pressures. And not only to see clearly through pressures, but how to overcome them and go forward, prosper, succeed, be successful. Sometimes we sabotage our own successes, we have doubts about ourselves, we have insecurities, or we feel there's not enough to go around, or we feel that we're undeserving, or we say, well, all the circumstances that have happened in my life, blah, 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 blah. And we end up living in that past. And whenever we live in our past, it's very hard to move forward into the future. And anyone you know who lives in their past will never move forward with you. That's a rule of the universe. If we get caught in the negativity of life, that's when we suffer in life. That's when we don't see what is great, what is good, and how we feel about ourselves through our process of living. We're creatures who were created by a creator into this creation to enjoy life with a birthright of happiness. I mean, just take that and think of that for a moment, that you have a birthright to be happy. It means you're born to be happy. We weren't born to be miserable. Unless this is an alternative universe, then maybe it's the miserable universe and we miss the happy one. But I don't think so. So what is the gap we feel sometimes in our lives? I'm not saying, oh, you're unhappy people, that's not what I'm saying. But there's a gap sometimes between how it is that we do feel about ourselves, how we want to go forward. There's not one of us that doesn't want to succeed. There's not one of us that doesn't want to feel prosperous, happy, abundant, right? At peace with themselves. And that peace does start with yourself. That peace you have to look at within your own heart to find that peace. You know, we say if you don't live in peace, you live in pieces, right? You feel fragmented, means being in pieces. So a little bit of life here, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Some things you like, some things there's not harmony, some things you have to go for. But it all boils down, my belief, and what I've worked on for many years of my life and continue to work on every single day, is to just understand my actions. Because my actions will either bring me close to the infinite light of this universe, to God, to Goddess, to light, or take me far away from it. Your actions will either bring you closer to your infinite consciousness or take you away from that consciousness. Your actions determine that. So in that determination of your actions, whether they're bringing you closer to your own heart, closer to your own universe, closer to your own God, closer to your own, or are they taking you away from that? Are you pulling yourself away from that? And what lies in between? Right? So we want to look at what draws you close, what draws you back, and what's in between. And what changes would you like to make in your life to achieve a greater sense of your own happiness, a greater sense of your own self-esteem, a greater sense of your own ability to shine? You know that word human, right? Human, hue. In English, what does the word hue mean? H-U-E, who can tell? What is the word hue, honey? A shade? What is a hue? Light. Have you ever seen around the moon or the sun, there's a hue around the sun, right? There's a light, there's some kind of brightness. So hue means bright, light, right? Man means the being. So the word human means what? Radiant being. It's in the word. The word human means basically radiant being. And what is the radiance? What gives you that radiance is your sense of well-being. Your sense of being at peace within yourself. And Simran, meditation, yoga is very good because it works on the angles, the triangles of the body. And that's why everything goes in a trinity of body, mind, and spirit. There's a trinity of body, mind, and spirit. And when that is out of balance, you're out of balance. It's as simple as that. When we're out of balance physically, when our mind is not thinking correctly, when we don't feel connected, then our radiance is low, our stress level is high, and then we do things that, we're not proud of, or we get ourselves into situations. And that's okay, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, we are beings, we're not robot. But you have to watch sometimes how your actions affect. That's the key thing. We forget sometimes that all our actions have effects on others. So again, that's something you have to go back in yourself and say, how do I want to affect? Do I want to be effected or do I want to be affected? Do I want to be effective in my actions or am I affected by my actions? That means, am I falling into the cause of my own actions or am I effective in what I do? Human excellence, Gurbani, Guru's way, human excellence is to be effective in everything that you do. Then you achieve all those things you want to achieve. Every one of you I know in the back of your mind, I really want to do. I can make money, but this is what I really want to do. And so we want to bring that to the forefront. But to bring it to the forefront, some might say, well, I know exactly what it means and I know what I want to be and it's right in front of me and I got that fire in my belly to get it and nothing will stop me. But some others may be, I think I know what he's saying. I think there's something. And some of you might say, I got no idea what that is that I'm looking for. It's there. I agree. It's there. But how do I find it? How do I find that in myself? What is that fire that I have that gets me up every day, that wants me to get to work and get those things done? Or am I like, oh God, there's another day, I got to, slug it out. So we want to be able to find what is that fire that drives you? What is that sense that you have about yourself? All these things are very important at this stage of life to determine your happiness overall. That's it. But mind has to be stable. I don't know, you can tell me a million things I won't believe. I know there's only one way that this mind can become balanced. And that's through Simran, that's through meditation. That's through the vibration of the Nam. That's whatever mantra you want to use. But if you don't meditate, what do? You medicate. That's the other alternative, And there's lots of kinds of medication out there and easily available to everyone. We spent 2.5 hours this morning of very deep meditation. It was beautiful. You say, oh God, 2.5 hours. Geez, I can't even 3 minutes. My mind is like the Zonko, But you sit in that stillness. You let the vibration into you. Even though you get a little edgy, you get a little... Because by the time we're finished, your nervous system is set. It's relaxed. That nervous energy is gone. You say, where did it go? I want it back. I don't like this feeling, right? But that nervous energy gets dispelled. Once the nervous energy goes, anybody know what nervous energy is? Anybody have nervous energy? No? Am I the only one? But it's that nervous energy inside of you that gets you grabby and jumpy and I got to get this and I got to go for that, I'm going to run for that, and if I don't get that, and I'm going to push this and I'm going to push that. But why not just be in your stillness? There's two ways. You can go and get, I gotta go and get it, I'm gonna get, it's mine and I'm gonna grab it. Or you can be and receive. You know the difference of going and getting and being and receiving? Let yourself be. Let yourself receive. That you block. That you fight in yourself. Oh, I'm not worthy to receive it. Oh, my past tells me I can't receive it. Oh, I tried to receive it and I, excuse me, I prayed for 3 days and I still didn't receive it. Thank you, James. Thank you so much. Right? You know what I'm saying to you today? But we all have to learn that within ourselves, how to relax, get that nervous energy out, and enjoy. What do they say in English? Smell the roses? How do you say that in Punjabi? I don't know. Because you got allergies, then you might want to try something else. But it's the same thing, it'll work. You don't have allergies, you can't smell the roses, but we'll figure something out for you. Right? To feel the fragrance of life, let's put it that way. To feel the fragrance of life. And that's what we bring for each other. And that's what we call true love. That we call from the heart. That we call from consciousness, graciousness, kindness, compassion, tolerance, and acceptance. But all those things are inside of you. Are you tolerant with yourself? Are you accepting within yourself? Are you kind within yourself? Are you loving within yourself? All those things you have to ask. Because to really love something or someone, you really have to love yourself. And then you can honor everything. So many times you say to me, well, I love everybody else, but I don't love me, right? Well, I can love everyone, but I don't feel loved. So we want to look at that within ourselves. What is it that keeps us? What is the gap? You know, there becomes a gorge within us. You know what gorge means? Like a valley, there's a mountain here and a mountain here, and in between is nothing. And sometimes we get so divided within ourselves that that gorge, that separation, seems so far that we're never going to make it across. That if I try to jump to the other side, I'm just going to fall in that hole and I'll never be found. That's the end. And because we feel that way sometimes in ourselves, then we won't jump. Then we'll hold in our fears. Then we'll have anxiety. Then we'll have those stresses. The first sutra of this Aquarian age is there's a way through everything. There is a way through everything. But that way through everything is through the intuitive mind. Third eye point is the channel to your intuition. If this isn't activated, then yeah, everything will feel a burden. But when this is activated, when the channel of intuition is activated, the screen of your consciousness, when you're aware of that, then you go to that place, then that answer will come to you. You don't have to chase after that answer. It's already existent. But you don't believe it's already existent. So, right? You have to trust that exists, that answer is there, and it's right. We call that Hukamnama. We call that the order of the day. We call that the guidance of life. Is to trust in that guidance and not fight that guidance. Because guidance is around each and every one. Doesn't matter how old you are, doesn't matter. Guidance is around. It's around you. And every knowledge is available to you when you can access it through your intuitive mind. But this is where we get to the fun part. But then you have to give up control. Oh no! I have to give up control? I'll be left out. You might as well put me in a spaceship and fire me off to Mars. Do you know that only 20% is under our control? The other 80% is the will of God. Only 20% we can control. We want to control the other 80%, the 100% of it. We can't. But we want to, but we can't. That's where we end up. 20% is known, 80% is unknown. But the vastness of your consciousness can know the unknown when you don't try to control all of it. The 20% we know is, okay, we had to go here and we're driving over to there, and from there we're driving over there, right? I'm going to start here in the house here, and I'm going to go to Best Buy, and okay, that's known to me, right? Then I'm going to go in the car, I'm going to go here, and then I'm going to end up Best Buy. That's known. But what if I'm driving, all of a sudden somebody's at the stop sign, then all of a sudden I meet a friend, why don't we go for Starbucks? That's unknown to us. We can't control that part. We don't know what's going to happen. So let it flow. So a lot of things I'm covering in a short period of time today about lessening the gap, giving up control, trusting within yourself, finding your own happiness. Boy, that's like a 3-day workshop. And that's just scratching the surface. But all those things, just look at them. What do we talk about? Remember, Maureen? Find it, define it, refine it, and act. Find it in yourself, define it in yourself, refine it in yourself, and act. That's all the stage of consciousness is. First part is we have to find it. What is it within ourselves that we want? What in our true self, our true nature, we call that our core belief, our core truth. Yeah, and again, some of you may be very clear. I know exactly, right? And some may not. So we want to find it in ourselves. What is it that I really want? If I want to make a change today to affect this, what do I want? You may have your own list, you're doing your mental list. So we're defining it. So first find it. Then we define it. Okay, it's this, it's this, it's this, it's that. Then we refine it by going inside ourselves and saying, okay, to refine that, to achieve what I want, I have to do this, I have to stop that, I have to start this, I have to move this, I've got to change this, my attitude has to be this. And when that's refined in you and felt deeply in you, then do it. That's the act. Do it. And that's the gap oftentimes. Right? Don't we say, no, I'm working out. Tomorrow I'm working out. Yep. No, tomorrow I'm working out. I don't think I can go tomorrow. I've got something. But the next day I'm going. No, next day I'm going. No, I'm going to the gym. No, I'm going. Well, something came up, and they called me from work. I couldn't. But the next day I'm going. That's 100%. Well, I wanted to go that day. I was 100%, but now I'm, right? The action isn't there. No, I'm coming to yoga. I'll see you Tuesday. Where are you? I don't know. Where'd you go? Where do you? So it's refining it, then acting, doing it. Without fear, because that's who you are. Then success comes running to you. Don't surrender to your success. Let success surrender to you. Why should I surrender to my success? Let success surrender to you. You understand that philosophy? Let it surrender to you. Don't you surrender to that. Don't you throw it. It'll come to you. When channels are open, everything will come. When channels are closed, you're going to fight. That fight brings tension. That tension brings your body into, you can't move it, and that can't move it of the body brings the mind into an atrophy. It becomes very tight. Then you get sick, then you get headaches, and the next thing that's what we call karma. How many know karma? The definition of karma, do you know? How many know what is karma? Must be my karma to deal with it. Okay, now you know the definition of karma. This is my karma. Nobody knows! I got to deal with that karma. Oh God, I'm in big trouble now. That's the end of my days. It's cause and effect, right. Newton's fourth law. You know the guy that had the apple fall from the tree? So whatever you do, every action has a reaction, positive and negative. So karma is motion, right? Action, motion to commotion. Commotion to drama. Drama to trauma. Trauma to disaster. That's what we call karma, right? There's two aspects. There's karma, and there's, what's the other side of karma is? Dharma, dharam. Gadam and dharam. The karmic path is that cycle of cause and effect. Motion, commotion. I know nobody's writing anything, but we have it on tape. Motion to commotion. Am I taping to make sure I'm taping? I'll edit it out. It's okay, I'll edit it out. Okay, we're taping. So you have to be aware that everything you put into motion is going to have an action equal and opposite. So the rule of life is don't start something you can't complete. Don't begin something you can't finish. Don't start something you can't end. That's behavior 101. Don't start something you can't finish. Don't engage into something you can't see it through. Stop yourself. So Gadam is that where you start but you don't finish. Reaction happens. You have to deal with reaction. And that's what we call saving face. Dhadam is saving faith. Karma is saving face. We spend more time trying to save face than we do with our faith. So we turn the I, my, me. You know, anybody know that I, my, me stuff? We turn the I, my, me to the we, the thou, and the thee. Take all your I, my, me's and give it to the universe. Then it becomes we, thou, and thee. We give it to the universe. Here, universe, you're vast, you're unlimited, you know everything. I don't want it anymore. So that we know is karma. What is dharma? Dharma is when you follow that path of your truth. Follow the path of your righteousness. Follow the path of your knowing. Follow the path of your intuition. And path is already there for you. But I used to like, there was a bathroom in our upstairs that had the window onto our backyard. And in the backyard, it was especially summer days, we had a cherry tree, there was rhubarb growing, it was green. It's a nice backyard. And one thing I enjoyed doing was just looking out the window, and I'd put my arms up like this and I'd lean against the window, right, just to look out. I don't know, I found peace, I just like to see, and there would be birds and butterflies, all these things. So one day I was leaning up like this, looking out the window, and all of a sudden the rug that I was on, the little throw rug, started slipping out from under my feet. And I started to go forward as the rug was pulled out. What happened, and you might have sensations like this, what happened at that time was rather than saying, oh no, the carpet is slipping, it felt to me like the wall was falling into the backyard. Right? Have you ever had that kind of feeling? Oh, and then you say, oh God, it's, right? But right at that moment, it felt so real to me that wall, I said, oh my God, I'm falling. Oh, it's the carpet, right? But at that exact moment, whatever second that, I don't know, the force is God, you name it, I don't know. Right at that moment, my life changed forever. Because right at that moment, I realized something. that I never realized before. And that was that illusion was a reality, and reality was an illusion. Understand what I mean? The reality, to me, was I was falling into the, right? It felt, oh my God, I'm going to be in the trees. That was real to me, but it was an illusion. But it was very real. And then I understood something very new in my life. And then my mind said, you know what? I'm not being given the full story. There's something beyond that a human can experience. And that's when I consciously began my journey that led me to today. That little small, maybe some of you have incidents you can share, right? That changed you, that turned you. And from that moment onward, that exact moment, my life was different. And I started to want to expand myself. And I tell you, this is in 10-year-old would have been 1962. So it was a long time ago, right? It wasn't, I couldn't go on the internet. What just happened when I, we had goggles, but we didn't have Googles. Goggles we had. But it shifted my lens. So we never know what can change us, what can turn us, what can show us a different route. Is it a message from who knows where? I don't know. Was it just something that fluked happened that day? I don't know. But whatever it was, it changed me forever. And then I want to say, I want to go out and I want to learn about this universe, this world, everything. And nothing is going to stop me from doing it, and nothing did stop me from doing it. And that's how I lived my life, and that's how I live today is the same. Because it told me I don't have to be limited in myself. So to this day, from that day to this day, I was 10 years old when that happened, now I'm 34, so about 20 years. From that day to this day, today is no different. I never want to stop expanding and learning and growing. And that was my mission. My mission was no matter what anybody says to me. And I knew I had to go out, and at 14 I left home, I never came back, I didn't have one penny in my pocket. And I said, I'm going to go out and explore this world, and I did.
Wahe Guru, Wahe Guru, Wahe Guru, Wahe Jiyo, Wahe Guru, Wahe Guru, Wahe Guru, Wahe Jiyo, Wahe Guru. Kaval nain madhur bain, kaval nain madhur bain, koot sen sang so